Alright, the stream is on. I hope. Yes, so hello. I'm doing a stream here on Sunday. Yeah, pretty cool, eh? So, yeah, hello. Is there like some way to see the chat but not this thing? Yeah, I'm not good at this. Can I like put this? I should probably like cut off a certain part so I don't stream the entire thing. But yeah, I haven't thought of that. So this is the setup we're going to have for today at least. Let's just have the chat on top. And then something like this. Okay, we can probably close down that. Okay, so this looks quite good. Yes, alright. Waiting for people to join. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to talk about this live stream. But make it try to have something to say. We'll see. I've been working on an actually good system for weapons and stuff, because I need to be able to have ranged weapons and melee weapons, and they need to be different and but still make it easy. So basically I have this weapon class uh, that these two other classes inherit from, and yeah, so the melee weapon has melee specific stuff. Yeah, so uh, it's 7 o'clock in Sweden right now, by the way, for you Americans. That's why I'm sounding maybe a little tired. It's very early. Yeah, so it's not that much to it. It's just I'm going to probably have some. I also have this math thing. As you see, just looking at the coding style here, this was obviously not made by me. I don't decorate my code this much at all. This is actually all ChatGPT. So yeah, it's basically just math helpers for checking if the melee attack hit the enemy. It's just that basically, and some other stuff. It has a begin swing function. Yeah, I don't 100% understand the code, since I haven't really looked at it. I just hope that it works somehow. So yeah, um, going to have to look into that if it doesn't work. And here I'm going to maybe make a small inventory system. I'm not sure if I'm going to call it an inventory, since it's basically just the ability to switch between weapons. So the idea is that the inventory header is going to link everything together, basically. So I have the weapon header, which includes the math header, and the weapon header is going to have all the abstractions for what a weapon is and what it's supposed to do, and that kind of stuff. And then we have the the inventory header, which basically just takes that. Now it isn't even included at this point, but we can do that now. What is it called? Weapon.hpp. Alright, so, and it's going to take that and it's going to put it in a vector or something. And then it's going to have some way of switching between them and maybe throwing them out, whatever. I'm not really sure how many weapons you're supposed to be able to carry. Right now, I'm just thinking of making that number 2. It's a small number, but I don't really think more is necessary, since this is a small game, and I don't want the focus of the game to be to collect a billion weapons and run around with them, but rather just use what you have and make a cool build. But I'm not sure. Since I feel like if you have a massive inventory, it can be a bit overwhelming in a game where it's not really about that anyway. So that's my thoughts on that. So I'm going to make a quite minimalistic inventory here, and then that's what's going to be used in the other files to be able to switch between weapons and stuff like that. Since right now I have a really bad system for the weapons, and yeah, I can show you it right here. This is actually how we draw weapons right now. So draw equip, and then it's a switch statement of what is equipped. And if it's the blaster, this is an enum, by the way. If it's the blaster, it draws the blaster, and that function looks like this. Yeah, it's not that pretty to look at. And if it's a sword, it draws the sword, and that looks like this. So the problem with this is that the code, I will need to add another function for every single weapon, and I don't really like the thought of that, and I don't really like this switch statement either. It just seems like a bad way to code, and that's because it probably is. What I should instead do is, like, at the start define what a weapon is and put in some parameters for creating one, and yeah. I should probably also do some kind of constructor for the melee and ranged, since they need different stuff from. They can't use the weapon constructor, or well, they can, but that won't work for them, since they need also a few other parameters. For example, the melee weapon, it needs like the degrees of the range of it, basically. So I'm going to probably do, with the help of templates, I'm going to do a shared constructor between the melee and ranged, and yeah, you're going to be able to insert what type you want it to be, and depending on what type it is, it's going to put in those parameters for it. So yeah, something like that. Since I want it to feel like the ranged weapon and melee weapon are connected, kind of. Yeah, we'll see. And then I just have 2 separate vectors for them in the inventory thing. Something like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny how yeah, the stream hasn't been here for a long time now. Did you just see it now? I have, like, we both share this account, so if I write something here, that's going to show as if the Coolness Studio wrote it. but when he writes stuff, it's also cool in the studio. So that's a bit funny. 20 people watching? That's crazy. Can't they say something in chat? That would be very nice. Yeah, so that's how the inventory system looks like right now. I'm going to need a few more hours working on it, and then it's going to be done. Oh, okay. Haha. Okay. Very funny. I guess I'm only going to... I'm just going to continue talking. Yeah. By the way, how is the sound? I think I tried to make the sound a bit better for this stream. I added in a noise suppression thing, and yeah, it should be a bit more smooth, and you don't have to listen to the silent hum of my computer in the background. So yeah, that's... I hope that makes some difference. Yeah, nice, nice. I thought so too when I did the testing before. Okay, so I guess I could show you my side project as well. I also, oh shoot, errors. Oh yeah, I'm in the middle of a tutorial episode with this. That's why it isn't looking good. Ah, I see. Yeah, so maybe not going to be able to show you, but yeah, I know, 50 views, that's pretty nice. It's very weird how it's been able to climb after it's been live. Didn't think people watched streams that aren't live anymore. Why would you do that? That's just like watching an unedited video. Alright, so I guess I can show how we do levels as well. Since Walnutty here wants me to do that, I know he does. He wants to probably have it in his video as well. So, as you see, the assets folder, it's slightly unorganized. Just slightly though. It's yeah. Yeah, maybe I guess I could do that. Okay, so I'm probably also going to put the enemy human level graphics blah 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 in a folder or something, since it feels unorganized. Just have them pop up like this. I didn't think the game would get so big so quickly, so yeah, I'm going to have to maybe at some point reorganize a bit here. And here we have the levels. So before, or actually we still do it, but in a slightly different way that I will explain later. What the code does is that it goes line by line and copies the entire line into its own memory, basically. And when the line is done, it just jumps down one line, and it does that for the entire thing, all the way down to 106 here. So then it has its own copy of the entire thing in memory. So then when it's actually supposed to draw stuff, it once again goes through its own memory and checks for what is there. And if it sees like just this, that means that it's supposed to draw nothing. And then it continues like that, the next line and the line after that. But then it gets interesting, since it hits the hashtags and the 3Gs. And that means that it's supposed to draw stuff. So the hashtag is a wall, by the way, a full wall. You see here that the numbers, they mean, let's see here, yeah, they mean like different walls facing different directions, whilst the hashtag is just the entire wall filled in, basically. So then it draws that, and these I don't remember what they do. And then it goes like that, line by line, and it draws everything. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But there's one thing that I realized is extremely unnecessary about doing it this way. It's that it has to iterate over like so many lines that are completely unnecessary. You see, this entire line, or these three, they are totally unnecessary. It doesn't have to look here, but it actually has to, since that's how it's programmed. So yeah, and it's the same thing about these comments. They don't have to be rendered. They're just comments. So that's something that I wanted to fix. Since the comments and the line thing, that's like just a minor performance issue. It's not really something you notice at this point. Not really the comments either. But the comments actually also, you see the E. Every time I write an E, that means that's going to spawn in an enemy there, for example. So I have a bunch of enemies that are in the comments and are being updated every time the level, like, it draws it again. So that's a bit unnecessary. So therefore I made this system in the let's see, no, not there. Where was this? Is this in, yeah, I think it's in the header file for, is it here? Yes, it is here. Okay, so here's a class for what a level is, and it's supposed to have rows, and it's supposed to have player position. Yeah, there's some stuff here. And what it does basically is that now it checks for what it actually loaded in. So it's going to try to find these two symbols, like even if it's a blank space or a yeah, this thing. And then it's basically just going to see how much of it can I remove without messing up the level. Since if I would remove all of this all the way through, then this part would be cut off. So it finds the place where there are the fewest amounts. Is that even a word? Okay, I don't know. Of empty spaces or lines before hitting actual level. And that would, in this case, be here. So it would cut off everything left of here. And that would still make the level be normal. Okay? So that's how it works. And it also, can I just find the file that was in? Yes, here. It also does the same, but for the right side. So it tries to find the smallest amount of space to the right edge, I guess. And then after that, it just cuts all of that off, and that new version is what it's going to be using for the drawing and stuff. Okay, so that's how it works. And then it also does another thing, that it's supposed to stop looking through the file when it comes to the point where it hits the letter C, capital C. So it's going to be doing all of this stuff, cutting off the excess on both sides and keeping the middle. And then when it hits this part, then it's just going to be, okay, I stop now. I don't have to go further. So everything below the sea is just never looked at. It's just comments, so it's not going to be used for anything at any point. What coordinate system for hex tiles? Okay, so the level has its own, it stores all the rows itself. So that's what it, when I read the file, it just updates that, basically. So, and what library for graphics? Raylib. I have all the headers for Raylib inside of the project, so I don't have to link it to my computer. Yeah, you know. It's pretty nice since it gives you a lot of stuff for free. I'm also quite interested in Vulkan. That's what I've been messing around with here. That's basically, if I learn that, I can make my own Raylib, basically, and that would be quite cool. Should I make the chat extremely tall? I guess so. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, so the coordinate system, it's basically just numbers for, this is tile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it also counts how many rows there are. So now we're on row 2, and yeah, it's pretty logical. Yeah, and then when it draws stuff, it just knows that it's supposed to, where it's supposed to draw it, so it links together. Since it knows how big a tile is, and therefore it can figure out how it's supposed to draw stuff, so it doesn't draw it up upon each other and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how that works. I don't really know what to explain now. Walnutty, I'm guessing you're watching the stream right now. If you want to, you can do me a favor and join the VC. Since therefore we're going to be able to have a bit more stuff to talk about. I'm in the moderator VC. It's kind of hard to lead a live stream yourself. I'm doing it right now and I've been doing it for a while, but it's easier if you have something to talk to. I see also that you are the only one watching. Not anymore though, since now I'm watching it too. Woohoo. Okay, so what to do? What to do? Yeah. We are also considering, I don't think Walnut knows this, but we're considering to switch from VS Code's inbuilt building system. Since, yeah, it's pretty nice that you just have to press F5 and it just does its stuff. And all you have to do is basically just put in a few .vs code files. I think it's mainly just the tasks and launch that do the building. Settings is just, actually I have no idea. Okay, so, and then it builds, and yeah, that's cool. But we probably want to switch to using CMake. Okay, sure, I can do that. CMake, since it may be easier to for including Windows, Mac, and Linux support, since we have developers, or well, we are only 3 people, but all of us have different, we use different different computers and stuff. me and Walnut mainly use Windows, but I also have Linux on the laptop that I use for programming sometimes. And then Ocelot uses Mac and Linux, I think. So we're going to have to support all of that, and that's slightly hard when we suspect that it might be easier to use CMake for that. I'm not sure though. Also, CMake just feels more clean. There's a lot of magic going on with the VS Code stuff. I will always just used ChatGPT for that, so I barely understand it myself, or not at all actually, to be honest. Yeah, I can show you the bullet stuff. It's I was very proud of it when I made it, but I'm not sure if I'm that proud of it now. So, for example, the naming of some of these uh, variables is extremely weird, but that's fine, I guess. Yeah. Um. So it's just a vector. We can take a look at the projectile here. Yes. So struct projectile. It has a position. It has a velocity. It has a width. It has a height. It's either alive or not alive, and it either has an enemy as its owner or the player. If it's this is just a temporary feature, or not temporary, but it's not going to be looking like this in the future, and the enemy owner thing isn't being used right now. It's just there as preparation for the include for me, including that enemies can shoot stuff. They can't right now, but when they can, I'm going to be using this boolean to know if the enemy is shooting the thing or the player is. If the enemy is shooting it, it should be checking for collisions with the player, and if it collides with the player, then it's going to take a damage. Okay, and if the player owns the projectile, then enemies are going to be checked for collision, and they are going to take damage. So that's what that does. And then we have the constructor. It takes in the necessary values: position, velocity, width, height, and then the boolean. And the alive is just true by default, since there's no reason to have it spawn in as dead and then immediately being sorted out later and removed. So that's why we're doing it like that. So yeah, it's not a lot of stuff. You see, we have a vector here that holds all of the projectiles, and then void spawn projectile. That's how it spawns it. It uses the constructor to place it in the vector, and it also makes this variable be true. And this is a thing. This is a boolean as well, as you see, and I think I use it for checking if there are any projectiles at all. Since if there are no projectiles, none at all, then I don't want it to be thinking of having to update them and stuff, since there's no projectiles there. So every time a new projectile spawns, it makes sure that this is true, and then it also once in a while does a check to see if there's no projectiles, and if so, it makes it false. So it's basically always true when there are at least one projectile. Yeah, and then we place the bullet here. Yeah, and then we have the updating function that takes in the level and delta time as well. We need that to determine how far it's going to be going every tick. So there's a for loop that iterates. It's a for each loop that iterates through every bullet in bullets. So the first thing it does is that it checks if the enemy is dead, and if it is, it just skips that. Not enemy, I mean bullet. It just skips over it, and yeah, it goes to the next one. So, but if it's alive, then it's going to be adding the velocity for x and y, multiplied by the delta time, and it's going to be adding that onto its position. And here I'm doing some scaling stuff as well. This is to scale it to the screen size, since I don't want everything to have different sizes depending on what screen you have, and yeah, all that stuff. This is something about this though is broken, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, nice. Please do. This is getting slightly boring. Yeah. And then it scales all of these 2 tiles, and then it does the collision check. This is a function that I made for more easily being able to check if there's a collision. It returns either true or false, and if there is a collision, it just makes it not alive. And then down here we have bullets.erase, std remove if bullets.begin, bullets.end, and then here we have a lambda function that basically checks if it's alive, and if it's not, it's basically just going to be removing it entirely. Yeah, since that's what remove if does. It has a condition, it has a range here as well. You see bullets.begin, bullets end. That's the start and finish of the thing. And then it does its check, and then it removes it if it returns true. Yeah, I think I explained that correctly. And then we have if bullets.empty projective equals false. That's just the thing that I talked about earlier. So if there are no bullets at all, it's entirely empty, then it's going to be turning this to false, and therefore not updating anything anymore. Okay, and then we have draw projectiles. So here we have yet another for loop. The difference is that this is a const for loop, and what it does is that it iterates through bullets, and then it takes its position, x and y, and the width and the height, and also a color. I chose red just to make the bullets very clear. I can make them any other color. We could have them be blue, and can I make it dark blue? Yes, that would be cool. And it's going to draw it as dark blue. It's really not that complicated at all, actually. I was pretty proud of it when I made it, but I'm not sure if it's too great right now. The thing is that this header file, for example, it is massive, and it does a whole lot of different stuff. It has the direction enum and the weapon enum, which is a stupid thing to begin with. It also has some other stuff. its main purpose is just to pass variables from file to file, but it's grown to do some other stuff as well. See, the bullets are blue now. That's pretty nice. As you see though, they are very slightly broken. Seeing as when I zoom in, they go very tiny, and yeah, they act very weird. They go slower as well, I think. Yeah, they definitely go slower. So that's the problem with the scaling. And it's a bug that we are working on to fix. And then you see the sword thing as well. This isn't really a bug. This is more so that I haven't implemented the animating part. I've just pasted in the sword thing, and it's also not the entire thing, so it cuts off a bit here. So yeah, that's how it looks. I see also now that I showed the smaller level, and yeah, I can go into, where the heck is it? Data, stats, world.hpp. This is very cool thing that I made as well. And I can, oh shoot, this is the wrong place. It's supposed to be in, can I just do this maybe? It's supposed to be, let's see here now. Include, no. Save, there it is. Okay, so this is just data. That's all it is. I can put, if I put this on 1, it's going to start on level 1. So when I change stuff in the level, or well, I mean, when I change level, all it does is just that it updates this file here. That's how it works. Okay, I've been talking to myself for 37 minutes. That's a long time. And I've literally not gained any other views at all. That's very cool, actually. Very cool. Oh well. Going to continue talking to myself. So let's see here now. We do the clicking. And yes, here we go. You see now that the bullets are extremely large. Yeah, that's how it is. And you're also more outzoomed. You see now when I'm walking around, if I go here, wait a few seconds, then it's going to update. It's going to update the world. Yeah, you see now? It's updated. So every 10 seconds it updates the player's position and what level you're on. Or no, I think the level just yeah, the level just updates as soon as it's supposed to be updating actually. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm not sure why I'm going to want to save where the player is. It's basically just a thing that I added in since it was felt cool. But it's there. It's there. I may be able to use it for checking some conditions for attacks or whatever in the future. We'll see. Okay, who's there? Who's there? Hello? Okay, so now you see when I hit
Hello?
these three. Hello! These three
Hi.
tiles, I go over to
Sorry.
the next level here. Yes,
Hey,
hello. Tjena.
I I'm just gonna check in for the stream. Everything going good here?
Ja, jag har pratat till mig själv i nästan 40 minuter.
Hey, let's speak English,
Bruh. Okay.
bro.
You
Okay.
spoke
If
Swedish
you
too.
see, say it again.
You spoke Swedish too.
When?
Like 30 seconds ago when you.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
We
you
can
did.
check back.
You said Shiana.
No,
Yeah.
that was you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and me have been the only two people watching the stream for the entirety of the stream.
Yeah, but remember that happened to the last stream and it got 50 views later. So
Yeah, but then we at least had like Moon Guy and 83 watching as well.
yeah,
Now
but
it's just totally dead.
but sometimes that happens. Okay, we have to stay strong, man.
Stay
And if
strong.
people are
Okay.
watching this afterwards, man, you guys are absolute legends. Right?
Yeah.
One,
Yeah.
two, three,
Exactly.
four, five. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the comments because you are just legends, really. We want to know who you are.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you listen to all the things I've said, and yeah, I'm impressed. I wouldn't
No,
listen to this.
no, no, but this stream was fantastic, and we can, with all the stuff you've explained, we can refer to this stream uh, in uh, in videos and stuff too to explain things. So this is just fantastic. It's good to have content out.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I just want to check in, and yeah, the stream is closing to an end soon. I'm expecting,
Maybe so.
but that's your choice, of course. You're the man in charge,
Yes, I
and
am.
yeah, I am gonna practice driving now. But I wish you all the luck, and I sorry for interrupting.
Interrupting? No, I wanted you to join. Actually, for a bit longer, to be honest. But that's
Yeah,
fine.
sorry that I can't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, see you.
Yeah. Bye.
Wow, you sound very depressed.
Yeah, it's because okay, I've been talking for so long and yeah. So slightly depressing, that's all. We'll see. Maybe I play some Factorio with stream. Okay. I think he's left since he would probably react to me saying that. Yep, he left. Okay, I'm going to have to continue with the stream. Stay strong. Keep keep talking. I can't even talk anymore. Keep cocking. Oh shoot, that was a weird thing to say. Switching around letters in a word is can make unexpected things happen. No. Okay, no. Thank you for sharing your opinion. That's very fun. Okay, so I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to say now. Um yeah, I guess I can change this back to red since that's a nice color. Red. I could actually go ahead and debug why the hell these bullets aren't working. Yeah, that's a very good question actually. Collision wrecked. Oh wait. I just remembered something. When this draws it, it doesn't scale it. Oh shoot. Yeah. That's actually quite interesting. That's pretty interesting, yeah. Okay, so do I need to scale this as well? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I guess I can try to do that. GW. This is an integers though. Can't we draw the float value instead? Or no, maybe we do draw the ints. Yeah, I think. Yeah, everything is scaled down to ints now that I think about it. So that should be the correct way to do it. So, and then we can do also the GY. And then we do the GH. Okay. We'll see how this goes. This may be fixing one of the largest bugs in the game. Or at least part of it. Sometimes you just don't think really. What games do I have that I can play without crashing the stream? That's a good question, you know. It's a very good question. I can play some Counter-Strike maybe. That will probably crash the stream. What more can I play? I can play Nova Drift. Factorio? Factorio would be very nice to play. Okay, let's see here now. Now the game started. Yeah, alright. Okay, this is... Yeah, this is highly interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so... Now we... can do that and... kill these two. I don't think they are necessary. Not sure. I don't really know how this stuff works to 100%. Sometimes my own code confuses me a whole lot. Actually, that's not even sometimes. That's just a lot of the time. The more code you write, the more you have to maintain. And yeah, sometimes you write stuff when you are very tired. Hey, hello, Cybercall. How are you doing? It's yeah, I started this stream at 7 in the morning, like European time. So I'm a bit tired. Trying to make a game, you know? Okay, why the heck aren't the bullets showing up at all now? What? Okay, they're extremely quick now or something. That's very weird. Why? Okay. Uh, huh. Okay, so I guess velocity. Maybe we just have to decrease the velocity a whole lot. So I must have done something that. Yeah, it's probably going quite well. Not sure. Uh, it's a lot of stuff to do. We also maybe want to do multiplayer, and if we decide to do so, then we have a lot of work to do. But it's going forward. Main problem is that we don't have that much time to work on the game, since like we go to school and stuff. So, yeah. But development is overall going quite well. Okay, so let's see here now. Game.cpp. Can maybe like search for, I think it's in the input event handler, yeah? So I spawn in the bullets somewhere in here. Mouse button left. Mouse button right. Speed, where is that being defined? It's being defined over here. Maybe like change that to something an extremely low value, like 1. That's very slow, probably. We'll see. We may also be switching the name of the game from Void March to Project Void March to Tellus 2, since that's like Earth. That's name for Earth in Latin or something, I think. But and it's like 2, so it's second Earth. It may fit with the. Oh, wait, Tellus. Oh, my, my, yeah. Google Chrome is on Swedish for me. That's extremely annoying. Swedish people don't like to see when stuff is in Swedish. I play all my games on English. Wait, what the heck is happening? What? Yeah, I think something is extremely wrong with these bullets. Okay, now it died. I think the bullets are just extremely small now. For some reason. Oh yeah. What's the... Are you talking about... Are you talking about in the levels? Since if so, it's nothing. It's just a filler to place to make it look better. It's just something that Walnut adds. Oh yeah, the weird glitch that's happened. Um, yeah, that's just my code being weird, I think. There's something about the scaling that's weird. You see, I have this feature so I can zoom in and zoom out in the game. That's just for testing so that everything can be on different sizes depending on the screen. Since I have a really small screen, yeah, yeah. So something about that isn't working for the bullets, and I'm not really sure why. Okay, so is this the right value? Oh, oh, I see exactly what's wrong. I'm scaling. Am I doing this for all of them? No, 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 just... Oh, wait, no, this should be right. This is very confusing, actually. Uh, huh, okay. So, uh, wait, what if I just change the value so that the bullets are supposed to be really big instead? Then I should be able to see them at least. Yeah, that's a very small value. Let's change it to that to something like 50. That's probably quite big, since yeah, so that's supposed to be very big, but I don't think it's scaling properly anyway. So I have no idea actually what's going to happen whatever I do here. And let's change this to 10 so it actually moves at all. And range, I don't really care. Arc size, don't really care. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see what happens now. This is how you debug things most of the time. You just test things and try to understand what's happening. And if you really don't understand, just send all of the code to ChatGPT and see if you can get something reasonable. That's how it works. So, what do you want me to tell about? You're the only one watching the stream. Ask a person, lol. Oh yeah, I don't really have that many people to ask. I'm the only person that understands my code. So, okay, so what is what is happening? What? What? This made stuff a whole lot weirder. What? What? What is happening? I think I used ChatGPT like a whole lot. Yeah, very much. Why is it drawing them so small and then... Huh. What is happening? Yeah, the collision seems to... Yeah, okay. Okay. How far... Yeah, their collisions are just extremely off. they start colliding with this wall, and they're over there. That is not correct. I have some comments in my later code, since the problem is that I wrote this code when not really when I started programming, but I was kind of new to the to C++ and programming the game. So I wrote all of this very early on, and it isn't terrible, but as you see, it's very complicated and very weird, and I don't really understand it anymore. So, and it has these weird variables names and all of that, and a lot of globals as well. So it's very far from ideal code. So if you look at some later code that I wrote, let's see if I can find this as well. I think it's in the not include, but the include here. Yes. I wrote this. This is much more easy to understand. Yeah, as long as it compiles, yeah. A lot of the time it doesn't even compile. And then you're feeling really depressed. Oh, okay. So this is also code that I wrote. This is for loading and saving data in JSON format. So, and this is an extension of that basically. This holds the data in so that other stuff can use it, and then it uses this to update it into the JSON files. It sounds complicated, but it's really not that complicated. It's more readable than the code I showed earlier, I think. And then I use this library for the stuff. It's a lot of code. 25,000 lines of code. I wrote a little comment down here below. And then here I can use the JSON helpers to make some stuff. So I have the class world here. So I save world data. And I can, yeah, you see here, save world data. And I take in the player coordinates as parameters. It's not in pixels, it's in level coordinates. So if I'm on tile 5, row 3, maybe, for example. And yeah, I use both multi-line and single line. It depends on if I'm writing a lot of stuff or just a little. I think something that I do a lot is that I just write out the general idea what I'm going to be programming. So yeah, that's what I did here. Not really sure what I did that, to be honest. What I often do is that I just go and write exactly what I'm supposed to do here, and then I have like a vision of what I'm supposed to program. And then yeah, pretty good stream. It's only 3 viewers though, so not too great. If we could get a few more people actually watching the stream, that would be very nice. So yeah. So then I can use, for making this like API for changing the data in the JSON file, I can use this function to set the data to be something. So I can take, you see this value here, this is an enum, by the way. Its only purpose is to be an index for where to change the value where the value is in the JSON file. The only reason that I'm using an enum for this and not an integer is that it's more readable. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's not me. So that's Polnati. He's watching it as well, and me too. So you're the only person who's not one of us who is watching. So that's how great this stream is going. Okay, so then I can call data.set and then the index of where to change the value. So it's basically just that it works as if I have a list, and then every value in the list has a number for I'm the blah blah number value. So the first value, second value, third value, fourth value, fifth value. Yeah, it goes on. So this just determines what value to change. The only thing about it is that it's constant. If it wouldn't be constant, it would change. The player x coordinate would be at the wrong place. So the player x would maybe be put in the place where the current level is supposed to be, and that would be very, very weird, and would make it so stuff break a lot. And then I set the player y coordinate, and then I set the current level to whatever it's supposed to be. And then I call the data.save function. All that it does is that it actually loads the new values into the JSON files. And those can be found here. This is the thing that I've been explaining. So this is the latest recorded x coordinate of the player. This is the latest y, I guess, or maybe it's the other way around. Yeah, I think this could be y and this could be x. I'm not really sure. And this is the current level. So that's how that works. And this is the exact same, but this is for different player stats. So this first number, that might be how much health the player has. And these other ones, I don't think that they are used at all. But they are there, and yeah, it works. So that's pretty cool. And then I also have these get functions. All they do is that they look at what is in the data, and then they return the value. So yeah, I also have functions for setting just the coordinates, and yeah, I have a lot of cool stuff here. This code I'm pretty proud of. And I also, this is just binding the data to the correct file. So I need it to be looking in the right place. So yeah, it has to be connected to the correct JSON file. Otherwise it's going to be putting data nowhere, or just not being able to load the file, and that would cause a crash. Oh, I'm so tired. Okay. Let's see here now. What can I explain now? Not really sure. We still have 3 people watching, so it's not that many. I could try to play some game and see if it crashes the stream, and if it does, just be satisfied with that ending, since I really don't have much to do. But yeah, that's how it works. I'm probably also going to have to go very soon anyway, so the stream can't really go on for a whole lot longer. Yeah, I don't really have much more to talk about right now. How is it going for you, Zebracle? What are you doing right now? I need to have something to talk about. Maybe I can play Nova Drift. That might crash this stream. Guess I can. Can write a review for it. Great game. Yeah. If we're going to be adding multiplayer to the game, I'm going to probably... That's going to be more of a hardware problem than a software problem. Or both, to be honest. But we're going to have to make... We're going to basically just have to redefine the entire game, to be honest. It's going to be quite challenging, since a single player game and a multiplayer game works in very different ways. A single player game, it's all just local. Everything is saved on your own computer, and everything is run on your own computer. A multiplayer game, though, you need a separate server, or it's not really required, but you're going to want to have a separate server for it. Okay, you want to actually start living your life. That's cool. Oh, okay. So I don't really know what I was talking about, to be honest. Huh. Yeah, I totally forgot. Uh, yeah, this stream is pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. You know something that I could do, actually? I could try to load a bunch of stars. I did that last time as well. Yeah. Yeah, I do that sometimes. I have my coding style isn't really cemented at this point. If I can, I use switch statements, but it's only really worth it if you have like 3 different if else statements, maybe. Since yeah. And then checking the minimum amount of if statements and just weird code is what you're aiming for. In the enemy thing, I did check for if it's not alive, and if it's not alive, it just continues in the loop. For example, that's a better way to do it than to have it check if it's alive, and then if it's alive, it does the stuff it's supposed to do. Since that means you have to move everything one step to the right. That's a bit annoying. Oh wait, I literally missed it. Okay, wait. Look now. This is going to be great. Okay. It takes a long time for it to compile. Nowadays. At the start, it compiled in like 1 second. Now it's 30 seconds maybe. That's slightly just because I've programmed stuff in a weird way, probably. But also just it's getting big, you know. This is probably, if we don't think about all of the libraries that are included and just the code that I've coded myself, we are probably over 5,000 lines of code. Oh, I missed it again. I'm stupid. So you may wonder what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to make it so that I'm trying to watch all the stars that are getting generated at the start. So, but I have this automatic reflex to start clicking through all this stuff to test the game, since I've done it so many times. So if I don't actively think that I'm not supposed to do it, I'm going to do it anyway. It's slightly annoying. So you're going to be seeing, how many stars is this? I think it's 1 million. Okay, so wait like 3 seconds. then it's going to start showing up. 2, 1. It would be pretty weird if it didn't. Oh yeah, now it started. Wow. This was a very cool project to make. Just a fun little side project when you were bored of fixing bugs and doing a bunch of annoying debugging and oh yeah, this is beautiful. This is therapy. Looking at all the stars getting generated. They have random colors and random position. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have to go like right now actually. Right when we got another person joining the stream. Yeah, I know, it's amazing. I've done this with 500 million stars once. Or maybe twice. Or maybe 3 times. It's very satisfying. That almost, that freezes like the entire computer though, so that's, maybe don't do that. And it fills up the entire screen as well. This is just 1 million or maybe less even, I'm not really sure. How many series is that? 1, 2, okay, that's just 100,000 actually. But it looks very cool anyway. So, yeah, cool stream. See now that another person has joined, and yeah, that's very cool. It's unfortunate that I have to also leave now. I don't have a lot of time today to do stuff, so this stream had to be short. That's how it is. So, yeah, fun streaming. Yeah, I'm probably going to do this another stream sometime the next week, maybe the next Sunday, we'll see. Yeah, whenever I get time to do it. So yeah, this has been fun. I have to go now. So bye.